And so that's what I'd like to share with people. You know, it's possible. There is one recipe for the broad swath of mankind and the recipe for happiness. I'm not saying for everyone, but for the overwhelming majority of humanity, it's marriage. That's the way to salvation. That's you've got a bond with another person that you have sworn to, and you're going to be true to that bond until you die. And at that point, okay, you're dead. And then God can take care of you. But that's what holds, and I'm saying that's what holds our society in place. And I'm saying the Jews know this. And they have spent their entire time here in the United States of America undermining the moral fabric of the American people. Don't ask me. You can talk to other people who think this way.
I get it. And I can't say that I disagree, but aren't you letting Joe Biden and a lot of other politicians, left and right, off the hook? Because they know what you know as well. I mean, anybody with common sense can see the moral decay overtaking America, and everybody just let's keep going. Let's go further and further. Drag queens in schools, and bring your kids to watch a drag queen gyrate in front of them.
First of all, Joe Biden is not in charge of the government. It's called Biden's menu. You can look this up too. There are 457 who are running the Biden administration. They're the people who are in charge. Okay? So there's no point in talking about Joe Biden. We have to be able to identify these people, and we have to call them out and hold them responsible for it. I'm going to take this, especially if you're black, because the blacks have suffered more in this regard than any other group in this country. And I'm talking about the beginning of this with the Harlem Renaissance, which I've written about in detail. The Jews took over the blacks early on. They created an institution called the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. Okay? Now, this was created for one reason, and that was to destroy Marcus Garvey, who was the great black nationalist from Jamaica. In New York at this time. And they got this guy, W.E.B. Du Bois, or Du Bois, or however you want to pronounce it, Harvard guy, and he was the front man, so that when Marcus Garvey went to NAACP headquarters, he walked in and he said afterwards, I didn't see one black man there. It was all. The Jews had taken control of the black population. They destroyed black nationalism under Marcus Garvey, and then they created this plantation for black people known as sexual liberation. It was called jazz. It was called the Harlem Renaissance. It was always some determining how you were supposed to be as a black man. And they all the way up to Kanye West. I don't know what you saw, whether you saw that. Probably everybody saw it, but Dave Chappelle gave that great monologue on Saturday Night Live, and the whole punchline of that was, put your chain on. There was a profundity to that, okay? Because there is a chain. It's a golden chain, but it's still a chain. And Kanye made a lot of money, but he could only make the money if he had that chain on. You know, because they can yank that chain whatever they want. And they did that to Kanye. They did it to Kyrie Irving. They did it to a lot of people. And what you saw was you can't step over that line. You can be a rich black guy with a lot of gold around your neck, but there's one thing you can't say. And that's what he said. You can't say it. You know, you're not allowed to put those two words together. That was a profound statement on the part of Dave Chappelle.
Mr. Jones, you are fearless. You are fearless. My God. And I know there'll be some people, how you gonna let this man? The man is speaking facts, and I know the intent of what he just said, and I got no problem with it, bro. You were both image bearers. Wow. Let me ask one last question before I let you go. And I got a little pet phrase, be quick but don't hurry. But take your time. I've been making this argument that heterosexual lust, that we fronted it, we centered it, we sold every product in the world. We showed Carl's Jr. hamburgers with women in bikinis simulating lesbian sex. And, we just, every movie you turned on, there's some sex scene that doesn't advance the narrative of the story. Just everywhere you went, sex, heterosexual lust, everywhere. It's in the music now, rap, R&B, rock and roll, country, sex, heterosexual lust. And I'm arguing, and obviously you're going to say whatever you think, clearly. But I'm arguing that our heterosexual lust so front and centered that there's an equal and opposite reaction to that. And that's why the LGBTQ feel so comfortable centering their sexual lust, that we are actually the beginning of the slippery slope. Heterosexual lust is what opened the door for all of this.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think in order to make that clear, I think we have to talk about a generational change. Okay. Now, what does lust do to you? Let's say you're the father. It weakens you. What is the cause of homosexuality? It's the distant, absent father. It's father deprivation. And so what you have here is a group of the next generation comes along. Dad is out of commission. He's not the man that he should be. He's not the power, that he should be, the example that he should be, because he's weakened by lust. He's weakened by Playboy back in the 50s, whatever it is. And the result was that he's distant. The result is that he's distant from his children. And when child perceives that the father is distant and the mother is dominant, he becomes a homosexual. That's the cause of homosexuality. It's not genetic. That's the cause. And so a natural consequence of the sexual liberation of the 1960s would be the homosexual liberation movement of the 70s and 80s. It follows like night from day.
Thank you, brother. Hopefully we'll have you back if the show hadn't been canceled after this.
Thank you for having me. The point is that we have to have discussions like this. Otherwise, we are all going to go down the drain. And that's why you're doing a service to all of us by allowing this type of discussion. And I'm thanking you for it. Thank you.
Where do you live? What city?
South Bend, Indiana.
Oh, all right. I'm in Indianapolis. We're going to have to get you to Nashville so we can do like 3 hours. But thank you so much. I really love this. Thank you. That's E. Michael Jones. And, whoo, boy.